So Nalin, nice to meet you. Hein? Okay. Alors, Nalin, am I online? Alors, Nalin, the question that I have for you is that, so can you please introduce yourself, Nalin? Hello?
Hi, my name is Nalin. I'm delighted to be here today.
Okay.
I have 7 years of experience in product and entrepreneurship, and I have been more inclined towards product since my undergrad. I
Yeah.
did my undergrad in business administration and then did a couple of startups. After that, during COVID, I had to shift to a full-time product role. So I joined a startup as a state product manager and raised to product manager just coming before starting my MBA.
Okay. Alors, you know, Nalin, most of the students at MBA Center study abroad. Huh? Okay, so usually they go. The closest usually is Singapore. So we have many for many we study either at ESSEC Singapore, NUS in Singapore, INSEAD in Singapore. Okay, and the others study in Europe and a few in the US, but the main destination of our students is Europe, as you may know, INSEAD, LBS, HEC, IAC, mainly. Why have you decided to study at ISB? ISB is an outstanding school, of course. Okay, but why have you decided to stay in India and not to study abroad? According to you, INSEAD, ISB stand out.
So during my MBA research, I carefully evaluated several options and ultimately decided to pursue at ISB. So there were various factors at play when I was deciding. One was the job market of the world, as there have been various layoffs going on in USA. So one factor was that ISB do provide the placements. Second thing was the time for me, as most of the programs in US was starting in September and
Mm.
ISB was starting in mid-April. So I was almost saving almost 1.5 years of time, as ISB's MBA is 1 year and uh, the job the US MBAs are mostly 2 years.
Mm.
Third was the cost. The ISB cost around 40 lakh rupees, but if I have to go abroad, I had to spend almost around 2 CR Indian rupees. So
Mm.
that was one of the major factors.
That's one of the major
That
factors. So yes, I understand.
Yeah.
Alors, alors, I know that you have already started ISB, huh? Okay. But
Mm.
before applying to ISB, how have you interacted with ISB?
So I know a couple of my friends and family members who have been to ISB and have been alumni of ISB. So I interacted with those people initially to know how the outlook is at ISB, how the faculties are, and how strong the alumni network is, and how ISB can actually contribute to my career path and my long term goals. So initially, my contact was that, and then I actually started attending some seminars that ISB conducts regularly for future students. So I started attending that and also started engaging with some alums in terms of to know just pass out alums to know how I can actually give my best at ISB.
Okay. Yes, of course. We, as you know, I started to visit India like 8 months ago, because my first trip was in October, and I was invited by ISB. You remember Itika? Itika is the ISB project manager. She's doing many things at MBA
Mhm.
Center, but one of her projects is to manage the ISB project that we're going to start to promote starting from in about 10 days. And so she's very knowledgeable. And of course, when I went to visit ISB, I was very impressed by the campus. I went to Hyderabad. We met the director of admission. with himself an MIT graduate. I forgot his name. And then we meet the member of the committee. By the way, we have a conference call tomorrow on Monday, Itika, the ISB. So I can perfectly understand why you have chosen ISB, and of course, it's exactly the reason that you have given: the cost, the format, the network. Okay. Of course, it's not, and I think that anyway, given the ranking of the school, after a couple of years, you can expect to work abroad. I don't think that it will be such a big issue. And of course, financially, it's less of a risk. Okay. Tika, you have a question to ask to Nalin?
No, I guess Nalin and I, we have interacted before, and I'm just very happy that he made the decision to join ISB. It's a wonderful place, and I wish him all the best.
Yeah, because he got Georgetown as well, and he said go for ISB. Well, tell me, Nalin, what has been the admission process for you? So what is it to apply to ISB? So of course, imagine that I know what it is, and Itika as well, but there are many people who are going to watch your interview on my channel, who want to understand the process at ISB in terms of tests, in terms of assessment day, also regarding the application. So tell us how it works and what has been your journey.
So ISB has 3 formats to apply to get into ISB. There are 3 formats. One is the YLP program, where you can get into ISB just after you have done your undergrad, and you have to work for at least 2 years. So you get a deferred order offer from ISB. Second is the early entry option. That is typically same as YLP, but as ISB do require a work experience prior joining to the course, so you need to actually show 2 years of a minimum working. I went with the normal route. I was an R2 applicant at ISB, so I need to give my GMAT. I had to have a good compiling profile, and I have to showcase why I want to pursue at ISB and why ISB would be helping in my long-term goals. So that's where the main thing was, because ISB do look for diversity. Diversity in terms of the students, the class profile. So I went with the R2 round. I gave my GMAT in January 2022, and I decided after round 1 application at US, I planned to I have to apply to ISB, and I went with R2 applications. I got my shortlist, and my interview was conducted in Delhi. It was conducted by 3 alums of ISB. So teachers don't take the interviews at ISB if they are the alums who actually volunteer themselves and come. So there were 2 recent graduate alums, and one was the senior alum. And most of the question revolved around the work that I have did and what the impact that I created, and why, how can ISB can actually help me in my long-term goals. So that was the process at ISB that I took. And on 15th, I guess 15th, 5th night, I got the result that I've got selected into ISB.
Okay. Yes, I know. I know what it is. Okay. So have you taken the GMAT or the GRE? I forgot, Nalin. Have you taken the GMAT or
I
GRE?
took GMAT.
Yeah.
I took
and
GMAT.
Your score is?
740.
Yeah, it's impressive,
740.
of course. Congratulations. I'm sure that the ISB average GMAT must be higher than Harvard's. I'm sure it must be something impressive. By the way, I hope that Nalin, you will also collaborate with us, and because we are developing an ISB department, and we want to work with our students. It's our priority because you trusted us, and we trust you. Tell me, Nalin, it's a question that I never ask to my students, to my Indian students, because as I told you, most of them wants to work and live abroad. But if you have decided to stay in India, to study in India, it's because somehow you want to make your life in India. How do you see the future of India in the next 10, 15 years?
So I feel one of the reasons that I would like to stay in India long term is the growing opportunities that are coming up. India is a like booming market right now. New companies are coming up. All the venture capitalists and startup funds are coming in and investing in India. And India is a very booming market, I would say, in terms of in fintech, in entrepreneurship, in retail. And there are some innovations that India has done, like the UPI ecosystem, the way we transact. I feel India, in long term, India stands out in terms of job opportunities and long term growth.
Okay, so basically, you believe that the future of India, but still, Nalin, salaries in India are a bit lower than salaries you can get, I don't know, in Europe, in the US. Do you think that it will compensate soon?
Yeah, I think the quality of life that we live, either just post ISB or if I'm doing a job, it's similar, will be similar in coming years. And the facilities are here are actually improving and it's booming. And the government is still working on it to creating the good infrastructure. So eventually we would be at par with some countries. But yes, I think that's a very
Okay.
good place to be right now.
Yes, it's true that I agree with you that that's a mistake that some Indians make. Is that of course salaries are much higher in Europe or in the US, but life is also much worse. So, for instance, any director of a company will have a maid, will have a chief, will have a chauffeur. Okay, you have to
Yeah,
be a CEO in Europe and a CEO of a quite big company. Huh? So a CEO of a $100 million dollar company in Europe, you don't have a maid, a chauffeur, or anything like that. Huh? Maybe you'll have
so
a maid,
so
a chef, maybe. But me, I have some of my cousins who run such companies. They don't have chauffeurs, huh, for sure. Huh? For
yeah,
sure.
such services are easily accessible here, so you feel a comfort. If I want to go and buy groceries, I can just walk down. I would
Yeah.
say at least a mile, and I can get various shops and get the things done. I have a maid who's coming in, cleaning the house. I have a cook, so I don't have to worry all those things. So that's the comfort that I feel India
Mm.
has,
Yeah. And you don't
and you
have
can
a
start focusing.
yeah. And of course, and at the same time, you see, I was with because I have a colleague who is applying to business schools, and I was with him in Spain, and so he was doing his things, but there was one day in the evening we went to a restaurant in Madrid. So he joined us because I was with colleagues and students, and I felt so sorry for him because there was nothing he could eat. He just took some salad because he's a Jain, so of course, and of course in Europe we eat a lot of meat. He likes something that is spicy. In Europe we don't do spicy. The same applies to the US. So
Yeah,
of course there's a big issue when you travel as an Indian. You have to change your diet. If you don't change your diet, you'll be very unhappy, and that's something. So I could see that he told me that after 1 week he already lost 3 kilos. But I hope that but you'll have to change his diet. Okay, he will still be a Gen, but the food is less tasty in Europe. Okay, and the taste we have it through meat, through different meals, and he's going to miss that. But yeah, he has to adapt, or you have to learn how to cook. You can imagine when you're Indian and then you're going to study at ESSEC. You come from a good family, and you find yourself in a 15 square meter room that costs the price of a house in India, and you have to learn how to cook. Yeah, the shop
yeah.
is important, but sometimes you see a different country, you experience something new. Um, so tell me, uh, we talk about the future of India, and how do you see your future uh, post PGP?
I feel it's very good, and I'm actually looking forward to it. I would say after the PGP, I'm looking. My to continue my role at product managers, and I feel at ISB I have been given a platform where I'm able to network with people with same synergies. I'm able to connect with them and able to understand their how they have been doing, or what are the technologies and what are the steps they used to take in their workplace. So it's more of a P2P learning here, and that is actually encouraged. I would say it's very thoughtful and also knowledgeable because you are able to connect with the peers who came from a very diverse background. So I think that will help me in pursuing my product manager role post ISB.
Okay, exactly. And you have a plan B? Because India is a very dynamic economy, so you can do something else. You have a plan B?
Yeah, I do. I have a plan B. I'm trying to actually formulate my new idea for a venture that I might start at ISB. So I'm looking forward to it. It would be a healthcare venture that I'm still idealizing and creating a small product around it.
Okay. So it's very important. Um, what else can we say? So tell me about the interview, because a lot of our students freak out regarding the ISB interview. They say it may be a bit difficult. It can be tricky. Was it tricky, or was it friendly? What was the interview like at ISB, Nalin?
So the interview at ISB was very friendly, I would say. For me, it was very friendly. The alums who were taking my interview made me comfortable before starting it. It was like I'm just talking to my friend, and they had all the details that I filled in. They had my essays, they had my profile, and they started with just how introduce yourself, and then eventually taking up questions regarding what I've did about my venture, how I came up with that idea, how I was actually targeting customers. So they just wanted to understand what are my knowledges is and how I was solving that problem, and what the impact that I created in my job as well as when I was doing my own venture. So it was very comfortable. It lasted almost 30 minutes, and I'm still in connect with those alums who took my interview. I found them on the LinkedIn. I had one-to-one with them as well, and they were very friendly. I would say they don't judge you. They are just. It's like a three people. We are still sitting on a dinner table or a coffee table and having a chit chat. So they were not grinding me, but they were still asking me questions about the business I did like that. So one question that I remember is how did you calculate the customer lifetime value at your business? And that was the question that I got stuck, but I told me how I used to do and what was my solution to it. And that way it happens. Then other questions was what was about my work, what the impact that I created there, and how I came about that idea. So, so it was just a friendly interview, I would say.
Okay, it was just a friendly interview. And so tell
No,
me,
I have a question.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah, of course,
Nalin.
yeah, Itika, yeah, go ahead, yeah, yeah.
So you say this interview was in person, like it's in a
Yeah,
restaurant or in an
no,
informal setting.
it was a kind of a formal setting. They were sitting uh, across me. Three alums were sitting
Mm-hmm.
across me. And but it was very informal. Like I was able to talk with them. I was able to connect with them. I asked them how they experienced at ISB, and they were from Delhi, and so we were able to connect more.
Okay, brilliant.
Yeah. So it was that's what he mentioned. And what is so you started like 1 month ago, over a month ago. So what it is like to study at ISB? What are your first impression after 1 month there? Tell me, Ali.
ISB is a very interesting, I would say. It keeps you running because almost every 2 to 3 weeks you have exams here. You have assignments, deadline coming up, which you have to complete. You have study group meets that you have to do, and there are various P2P sessions going on around the campus. Sometimes you start feeling the FOMO, that, oh, I'm not able to do that. But it's all about prioritization, how you manage time, and how you are able to deliver.
Yeah, exactly. And in terms of workload, what can you tell us a typical day?
Can I tell you?
What is a typical day?
Like an
What is a
ideal day.
What is a
Yeah, ideal
typical
day in
day?
your life.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Typical day
So
at,
in my so it typically starts at 8 a.m. We have the first classes, and it goes. So we have 2 classes a day. It goes from 8 a.m. to 10, and then another 10:30 to 12:30. Once the classes get over, we all go for a lunch and have a chit chat and discuss what all assignments do we have. Once our lunch are done, some people do come back to their pods or studios, and some people start with their study group meetings. So study groups are like in a class of 70 or 78, you are divided into group of 4 or 5. Those are the study with people. You have to complete the assignments. So you have the deadline. So you have to come with them. You have to discuss various cases. You have to come up with your solution, and then write the final assignments, and then you have to submit it. So after doing that, it typically 5 p.m. Me and some of our friends go to play, do gym or swim, and after post 7 we started having our, I would say, some P2P sessions are happening. So we have an option to go there. Some might be teaching accounts, some might be teaching how to venture into product management role, or how to, what are the roles at consulting. And if you want, you can go to that such sessions, or you come to your pod, chill with your friends, or start and do some pre-reads for the next day.
Okay. So that's something that you have that you have to do. Alors basically, for students that we have who are in the same situation as you 1 year ago, what, tell me 3 things, and let's do something like that, Nalin, that they should never do. 3 mistakes that you have done and that they should avoid. Tell me.
3 things for applying to ISB, or
Yeah, me for instance,
things
when
in life.
I applied to the US, I made the many mistakes, so I could explain the mistake that I did, and basically I wasted 1 year. Okay, to give you an idea. So but there was no Dr. Hubert or no Etika to advise me. And when I applied, it was in '92. There was no internet, nothing. I come from a family where my parents left school when they were 14 years old. Imagine that to study in the US was something a bit uncommon, especially in France, where 2 people study in America.
So I think the
So what
mistake
are
that
the 3 mistakes to avoid? Tell me.
So first thing is, don't feel bad about receiving a feedback. Initially, I used to feel bad when someone used to give me feedback about my business or work that I'm doing. And I think when someone is giving feedback, I think we should encourage it and learn from why he's giving the feedback and think from other point of view. Secondly, start early and fail early. Is, as being an entrepreneur, I have spent almost 3 years of my life building a product, launching it. So I feel you should start early. Don't think that much. Come out with a minimum product, gather feedback, and if it is not working, just switch or pivot to another thing. So don't waste much time on that. And thirdly, if you're starting your MBA journey, choose MBA Center first because I have my own regrets because I went with someone else. I lost uh, many schools in the process, and I feel if I would have done it a bit earlier, I might have more options to choose from.
It's so that, for instance, I don't know if you want to apply, but with your profile in Europe, you would have been accepted to probably HEC, IAC, Oxford, Cambridge. Okay. Now INSEAD and LBS are always difficult. Okay. Even a 740 may not be enough to see Nalin, but Oxford, Cambridge, in HEC and IAC, 80% chance of getting in, especially someone like you. But now you're Indian, and you always believe that things happen for a good reason. We Catholics, we Christians don't believe so. And me, I can tell you that many things happen to me in life, and I don't say that they happen for a good reason. But maybe you have to be optimistic in life. And many of my Indian friends, because it's a country that is very dear to me, always tell me that things happen for a good reason. So basically, your karma, Nalin, today is to stay in India for some more time before maybe seeing the world. You see, for instance, Itika, she loves Korea. Okay, so probably one day she will go to Korea. Others, I have colleagues who have already moved to France, etc. Yeah, Itika, what are your questions, Itika?
Yes, Nalin, I had one question. Since ISB has a restriction on not 2 recommenders, your CV ideally selected 2 recommenders for you, but which one did you go with? And what was your selection criteria here?
So I went with Dr. Abha initially because I have worked with her for most of the time, and she knew me. She knew me well because I helped her in expanding her clinics, and I know more operations side. So I went with her. Didn't wait with her current employer because I just had a 6 months time with them, and I don't have. So if they're recommending, they won't be giving so much value to it. But in the last firm, I did create a very much bigger impact. So I want my recommend to tell ISB that what I did.
Okay, very good. So thank you very much, Nalin. It's true that I prefer to have my interviews after my class, but that's something else that I've decided to do. And anyway, I will be happy to see you, because we will come to visit ISB twice or thrice, and we'll probably meet you at that time, because you will probably welcome our ISB applicants. Anitika, so you'll be in about 10 days, and we have to start the promotion of ISB, Anitika. We need to finish the landing page, and we start the promotion, so we start to promote ISB. Okay? Voilà. So I wish you a very good day. It was very nice to see you, and of course I will be more than happy.
Thank you.
Anyway, I will see you in Ahmedabad in probably this fall. Okay? Voilà. Have a good day.
Sure.
Thank you, Nalin. Thank you for your time.